So the Apple event happened about last week Monday, and yes, this video is way later than I expected to actually release, but that was because I was on holiday when the Apple event happened, which bad timing for me because, well, I really wanted to talk about the Apple event, but I didn't really have all the equipment to actually record this video properly. But since I'm home, I can actually talk about the new Apple devices and just cover all the things I like and dislike so far about the new Apple products that were announced. Now, do keep in mind, I'm not going to be talking about the iPhone 16 Pro because I'm actually going to be reviewing that on the channel next week. So stay tuned for that, but I'll just get straight to what you need to know. Okay, so going to the all-new iPhone 16, this phone does have a lot of options when it comes to new colors. Now, this new iPhone 16 is very vibrant in terms of the color options you have. So you do have 5 new colors, which does include Ultramarino, which is one of my favorite colors with this new iPhone 16. You also have Teal, which actually looks pretty good as well. I do have a very vibrant and bright pink, which I think a lot of people that do like pink with their iPhones will enjoy this color a lot more because, of course, people have been asking for this pink to be a lot more vibrant compared to the older versions. Now, of course, you have standard white and black. Now, some of the new functions that you do find with the new 16, well, it does include a new camera system, which basically, well, the cameras are basically going back to their old roots, which a lot of people were still saying Apple's copying Samsung, which is actually very false because actually Apple did this camera system a long time ago with, I believe, the iPhone 8 or even I think the 10 or 11 even, because I do have an iPhone 11. But basically, they're just going back to the old roots, which does make the phone look a lot better in terms of style. Now, the new iPhone 16 does now include the action button, which I think is kind of useless due to the new button that has been added to the 16. But otherwise, you do have the all-new Apple Intelligence, which will be included with this new iPhone 16, which you can now install the iOS 18 by the time of recording, so go check it out. Now, going to the chip you do find with this new iPhone 16, it now includes the A18, which actually means they skipped A17 because the iPhone 15 only included the A16 chip, so they basically skipped A17. Now, going to the new button that is now included is the camera control. Now, this is going to be useful for a lot of photographers or videographers or just quicker motions to actually access your camera app. But the reason why I kind of think this is kind of a waste for the action button is because the action button does allow you to change what the button actually is used for. And one of the options is to actually use your camera app with the action button. So now that you actually have the camera control, it kind of beats the purpose of the action button. But what I do like about the camera control is you can actually adjust your camera settings, your aperture, and just focus and so much more, which I think a lot of people will enjoy if you do enjoy photography and videography. Now, going to the camera system, you do have some good specs. You do get a 48 megapixel fusion camera and a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. Now, this does mean you have up to 4x optical zoom, which is very useful and does now include macro photography, which I think a lot of people enjoy. Now, of course, another thing that you can kind of use, which I don't think much people are going to use unless you do have the Apple Vision Pro, you can now capture spatial photos and videos. And one of the main things I think is pretty funny is that it does have 1 hour more battery life compared to the 15. Now, the pricing for the new iPhone 16 has gone up compared to the iPhone 15 by $100, so now you can actually pick up the iPhone 16 for a price of $799. Now, going to the all-new Apple Watch Series 10, it does have some new functions that I think people might enjoy. Now, the new Series 10 does include a bigger display, which actually is OLED and has a nice new view, which means you can actually look at a certain angle of your Apple Watch and actually see the time without having to turn even more, which is basically making it a lot more better for a lot of people to quickly check what time it is in certain situations. Now, it does have everything the same, but it does have a new function which is going to be used for sleep apnea, which is going to be very useful to track your sleeping and just make your sleeping experience a lot better. Now, it also includes a new temperature sensor, which is the same as the Ultra 2, a depth gauge to 6 meters, and a water temperature sensor, which is going to be very useful if you are going to be swimming with your watch in certain conditions. And one of the main things I think a lot of people might enjoy about this new Apple Watch Series 10 is it does have a faster charging system, so now it can go from 0 to 80 in 3 minutes, which is going to be very useful to quickly charge your watch when you're wanting to use it for certain events or just wanting to track your sleep, which is going to be very useful. Now, you can pick up the Apple Watch Series 10 for a starting price of $399, which is actually not too bad. But that's for the aluminium, but if you do want the titanium, it will cost you $699, which is actually very pricey. Now, going to the audio side with this whole event was the all-new AirPods 4. Now, this does include new functions that are already found with the AirPods Pro 2, which is basically just a cheaper version of the AirPods 2, just some less functions that you would expect. So with the new AirPods 4, you now do have active noise cancellation, adaptive audio, and transparency mode, which I think a lot of people will enjoy, especially now that it's more affordable with this new AirPods 4. Now, something I do find nice is that you can now wirelessly charge your AirPods off the charging case, which is going to be a nice function, and does have built-in speakers for when you want to use Find My with your AirPods 4. Now, what's interesting about this new AirPods 4 is that you do have 2 options. So you have the standard version, which will cost you $129, And then you also have the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation, which yes, it's going to be an extra, which will cost you $179. Now in terms of software wise for the audio side, you do have ways to protect your hearing, which is going to be a big thing to have because of course we live in a world where there's a lot of noise and can damage your ears. So the fact that the AirPods can now help you with that, especially with the AirPods Pro 2, is going to be a big function to have. You can actually now use your AirPods as hearing aids, which is going to be a big plus because now you don't have to pay too much for hearing aids and you can just go for AirPods, which is going to be a big help. But otherwise, that's everything you need to know with the new Apple event and all the products that were announced. And like I said, I'll be reviewing the iPhone 16 Pro very soon. But otherwise, let me know in the comments below, do you think this Apple event was worth it to watch? Because it was a bit boring in certain points, but I mean, it was still entertaining to watch. But I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next video. Be safe as always. And I hope you all have a great day. Bye.